All right, welcome back to another episode. I have a special guest today, Miss Whitney, mother, wife, and founder of Pickles and Popsicles.
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, I'm so excited.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, I've been waiting.
You know what? I think it was very serendipitous because by the time I replied back to you, then I had to be here anyway.
Yes.
And even though you were willing to come to me, I was like, no, I'm going to be
Yeah.
home. I can come. And
Yes.
so
Divine timing.
I
I
love
love it.
it.
I love it. So,
Yes.
do you want to give yourself? I gave a brief introduction, but if you would like to give yourself an introduction.
Okay. So yes, I am a wife. Um, I am a mom of three beautifully brilliant children that work my ever loving nerves, but they mine, and I'm gonna stick beside them.
Right.
Um, but most importantly, I'm a person.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like sometimes, a lot of times, when we become mothers, we are our identities are easily lost in the
Mm-hmm.
roles that we play
Mm-hmm.
as women and mothers. And so, when I meet someone, especially if someone like who knows my husband, because everybody knows my husband, and they're like, "Oh, you're Cassio's wife." Mm-mm, I'm Whitney.
Yes, I love that.
I'm Whitney.
Right.
I am a person.
Right.
So PMP was a baby of mine by accident. Both the baby and the business.
Two for one.
Two for one. I like to tell everybody that I quit my job and birth control at the same time because I didn't know which one was making me crazy.
Yeah.
Turns out it was the job. But less than a month after quitting my job, we found out we were pregnant, and I was like, "Where is baby going?" Because we were supposed to be done, okay? And it was a rough pregnancy. It was hard.
Mhm.
I was sick the entire pregnancy. And then one day I was sitting in bed on the phone with one of my best friends. Shout out JP. Um, and we were talking about, I don't even know what we were talking about, but I said, "Oh, I need to tell Casio to bring me home some pickles and popsicles." And she was like, "Oh, that's so cute. That should be like the theme of your baby shower." And I was like, "Oh, what if it could be like a community event for moms?"
Oh.
But that night I sat and I ruminated over it, and I had just wrote all the things that this could be. And then she came over the next day and we wrote some more. And so what was supposed to be a one-time event has now turned into a full nonprofit. We just celebrated 5 years this
Oh,
past January. And
congratulations.
so we are fully funded.
Mhm.
And, I think I did good.
Yeah,
I
you
did my big
did
one.
great. You did great. You did amazing because I heard of Pickles and Popsicles. And then when you came, okay, let me take a step back. And, because I DJ'd your event with you and your sister.
Mm-hmm.
And you were a speaker there. And I'm like, oh, okay, I heard of this company before. But hearing your story behind it and your why and your reasoning, it was just so powerful because it's just like, as mothers, a lot of us don't have a community. And a
Yeah.
lot of the times, like when we go through like postpartum depression or retired, exhausted, XYZ, people think, you're just lazy.
Yeah.
You're tired, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, no, it's in the book.
Yeah.
Like it's a real
It's a
thing.
real thing. And I feel like it was very important. So even though we pivoted a little bit about what we do, we don't offer direct services
Mm-hmm.
anymore. But one of the things that I noticed, like when I was starting this, and I was just kind of looking for inspiration of like what I could provide and what I could offer, and I ran across this website, which was very similar to what I wanted to do, but she was charging
Mm.
so like $150 for a birth plan. You can get that off the internet for free.
Yeah.
Helping to put together baby gear, like $600 for a
Mm.
couple of hours. And I'm thinking, if somebody is willing to pay you to help them with mundane tasks like this,
Mm-hmm.
right? That means they have no one. And
Yeah.
you charging them for that help seems
Right.
very predatory to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, how can I provide something similar without them being charged for it? Because
Mm-hmm.
I felt like as moms, we are nickeled and dimed to death.
Yes.
Like you tell us all the things we're supposed to do, all the things that's going to help us, but then you charge us so much on top of that. And we're
Mm-hmm.
just like, well, how important is it if it costs me $200 that I ain't got?
Right.
And so I just thought of ways to be a support to the community without them being charged.
Mm-hmm.
And so we started small with like peer support groups. Like we call
Mm-hmm.
it that our mommy meetups.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to create a super safe space to talk about those ugly moments of motherhood,
Mhm.
because so often when we're looking at, social media or even some of our family and friends' lives, and you're like, how did they keep it all together?
Yeah.
How that baby both still in her head at 6 o'clock and I can't get mine to stay even past 10? Like,
Right.
how are they doing these things?
Yes.
Or when we start to feel bad, like
Mm.
we start to feel overwhelmed and overworked, and we have all these frustrations, we don't hear people talking about that so
Mhm.
openly, so we think something is wrong with us.
Mhm.
Like, oh, it just must be me then.
Mhm.
I must be the problem because
Mhm.
I haven't heard anybody say this about, their
Mhm.
motherhood experience.
Right.
So we created that space for you to say the ugly things here.
Mhm.
Because if I said, like, oh my gosh, my kid is such a butthole, and people like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you said that. Children are a blessing from God. Sure, they are, but they still are a lot of work. Motherhood is lonely. It's
Yes.
hella ghetto sometimes.
Extremely.
Okay, it's a struggle
Ooh.
all the time. And if I don't have a place to vent, if I don't
Yeah.
have a place to release these feelings
Mhm.
and I harbor them, well, then who gets that?
Yep.
The
It
kids.
spills over.
It's spill all of that negativity that you're harboring and you're holding in, you're giving it out to somebody, and
Mhm.
more than likely it's going to be your family.
Yep.
And so let's have a space for you to let that out so we can cover you.
Mhm.
We can protect you.
Mhm.
We can pray for you.
Mhm.
We can say, hey, girl, I've been there.
Right.
I've been there. I've blanked
Right.
out a couple of times. You are
Right.
not alone.
Right.
Say it here now.
Right.
While you have a community, while you
Mhm.
have support.
Yeah.
So then you can release that, let
Mhm.
that go, and then you're able to be your best self
Mhm.
for those babies.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, they still are very important, but not more important than you are.
Absolutely.
And as mothers, so often they give us the laundry list of things we're supposed to be sacrificing to
Mhm.
be a mother. You have to sacrifice this and you have to sacrifice that, but I shouldn't have to sacrifice being a person
Right.
to be a mom.
Right. Because how can I be a parent if I can't be a person?
Uh-huh.
And how can you help a child learn and grow if you can't learn and grow? Because this is new.
Yeah.
Like no matter how many children you have,
Each one of them new.
they're all different. It's a new, like you were saying, like you might have a great pregnancy the first time, the second time, not so good, the third time, horrible. So you just
Horrible.
never know like what's gonna happen and what you're gonna get. It's a new experience every single time, and even if you
Absolutely.
have one kid, it's a new experience every day, regardless. So imagine
And
having
each
multiple kids.
phase.
Yes,
It's the phase. Because, like,
yes.
my first of all, I could have stayed pregnant forever. Oh, I was gorgeous. My hair was long and luscious. My skin was popping. I was nothing but Billy. I felt amazing. I could have stayed pregnant forever. And then labor came. And I was
Mm.
like, I ain't never doing this ever again. It
Ooh,
hurts. It's hard. And one, it was my first baby. So
Mhm.
nobody believed me when I said that I was in labor. Like, I
Mm.
went to the hospital and it was like, oh, there's no baby coming today. It's just Braxton Hicks. They sent me home in active labor where I labored alone
Wow.
for 8 hours because I was in so much pain I couldn't even fathom to call anybody.
Yes.
Like, I knew I should have called hours ago,
Mhm.
but I'm sitting up here stupid, 22 years old,
Mm.
Googling how to get rid of Braxton Hicks
Yeah.
contractions.
Oh.
And then, like, at 9 o'clock, my mucus plug comes out, and I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
know what that is. I should call somebody." And I called the most random person. She was even confused as why I called my aunt, and she was like, "Did you?" I ain't called my sister. I ain't called the child's father. I didn't call my mama. It was just she was the only number I could think of, and she was like, "Did you mean I'm on my way? But did you mean to call me, girl? Just somebody come get
Confusion.
me."
Right.
And by the time I made it back to the hospital, I was during near 9 centimeters dilated. So I
Wow.
had just enough time to change my clothes, get an IV in, and
And
push.
push. Oh,
And
that's
it was
fast.
tragic.
Yeah.
I was in so much pain, and I remember like moving in with my sister after I had the baby because she was working nights, and so she would come home at like 2 in the morning. I'm like, get her, just take her.
Oh,
I was so
man,
tired.
it's exhausting. Like no one prepares you for that part.
No.
Oh, you're gonna change stinky diapers. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Okay, I feel like I'm dying. And
Yeah.
then I breastfed my son, so I
I
was
breastfed for 6 months.
drained,
Yeah.
literally exhausted. everything gone, can't eat, you scared to shower, you don't want to leave the baby too long. Like, it's
Your hair starts
mentally
falling out.
what?
I listen, I lost so much weight. So I was, this is probably the smallest I've been now in about a decade. But when I had her, I had always been stick skinny my entire life. So I had just started gaining a little weight. I was slim thick, you know, I was probably
Yeah.
good 135
Oh, that's
pounds.
the
Oh baby, I
number.
was fine. And then I had her,
Mhm.
dropped all of it.
Mm.
I was like 112 pounds.
Yeah.
I looked like her babysitter.
Yeah.
Like, I was so tiny.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor. I said, I think I'm dying.
Yeah.
Like, I have lost all of this weight. My hair is falling out. And he was like, your hair's not falling out. It's your postpartum shedding. I was like, but where is it gone? And now he was like, but you're breastfeeding, so that's helping to keep the weight down. And I was like, I
wanted to keep it.
Right? I needed a little bit of it
Right.
back. And so nobody had talked about that, because I remember calling my sister. I was like, I had all you helpers who had babies before me, because ain't nobody say none of this. Because I would tell her something, she'd be like, oh, it's normal.
Where was the warning?
When was it normal? Who was going to tell me?
Right.
And so I think it's very important to share your story. So I talk all the time about what motherhood has looked like through each of these pregnancies, because I need you to know that you're not alone. Right. I need you to know that what you're feeling, it may be ugly, it may be scary, but it really is normal. And sometimes we find solace not from a doctor who says, oh yeah, that's fine, but we find solace talking to another mom who's gone through that experience. And you be like, oh, okay, this is what I did, this is how that helped me. And you be like, thank you.
Yes. And I think the craziest thing, even crazier than people not telling you or not giving you the heads up, is that it's preventable. So in the process of writing this book about it, I'm learning that it's preventable.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me I could have been ahead of the curve? I didn't have to go through any of this. I was sitting here depressed, looking crazy, trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Why am I so sad? I'm supposed to be happy. I just had a baby. He's so precious. And I'm just like in the corner looking crazy. And I didn't have to go through that.
Because all of that attention and care while you were pregnant left you and just went to the baby.
Yes.
And so then you're left there like, what? Hey, I'm over here
right.
too. I need stuff too.
Right.
Somebody come hold me.
Right. Like, I
and
need
so
to cry.
we don't, sometimes we forget. And for me, I don't do, like, our organization doesn't do a ton of mom baby events.
Yeah.
Because I need you to know that you are the focus. That we care about you. It's plenty of things that for you and that baby. It's plenty of resources for that baby. I need you to know that you are the priority. So we don't do a ton of mom and baby things. We do mama stuff.
Yes.
We hang out mama time. We talk about, like, if you have to bring your kid, it's perfectly fine. But this is about you. How to create a more sustainable person in order to be and wear all of the hats that we do as women, right? And so for us, I was like, well, how can I package this in a way as well, as I am leaning into taking care of myself, which didn't happen until COVID. With that whole 24-hour parenting. And I'm like, y'all don't go nowhere? Y'all here all the time?
All the time.
You hungry again? Stop touching me.
I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty,
Oh my
mommy.
gosh.
I'm thirsty.
I was so over it. And let me tell you, I love my family. They are the most amazing humans ever. If I have to be quarantined with them for the rest of my life, I'm okay. But leave me alone still.
Yeah. I need a little.
I need some time. And so when COVID happened, that first month or two, it was heaven, because my husband was working so much. He was traveling a lot. And so it felt good for him to be home all the time. You know, we were testing out recipes, cooking, you know, things are clean. Like, it was a vibe until it wasn't. And I was like, okay, I need some me time. Right. You know, I'm all touched out. People touch me, the kids. I have the most lovey-dovey, touchy-feely, affectionate children. I think God played like a really sick joke, because he knows that I don't like it.
That means you're a good mom.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. It doesn't matter.
I don't like
it.
I don't. Yeah. And so I think that's important, like trying to find the balance between our personalities and our children, right? So for me, I know I'm not a super affectionate person. I don't like being touched often. And all of my children are like skin tags. they just hover.
Yeah.
My son, like he's more of my spirit animal. He'll be like, I just want to look at you. So he'll
Oh.
just come lay in the bed. He don't talk super often, but then sometimes he'll come and tell me stuff. Afeni, that's the baby. She don't care about boundaries. She ain't got no respect. She is gonna touch you when she wants to. She gonna hug you when she wants to. She gonna say what she need to say.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest, we're vibing more, and so she asks. But I teach all of my children to ask for affection,
Yes.
like from me.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because I practice telling them no, so they they know how to interact with that word,
Yes.
and they know how to interact with it without feeling rejected.
Yes. That's
And
important.
so we say, hey, you remember, mom doesn't want a hug right now, or Afeni, she'll say, well, mom, can I have a hug? I was like, not right now. And the first few times I would follow it up with an explanation like, hey, it doesn't mean that mommy doesn't love you. It just means that right now, I just don't want to be touched. Okay. And she was like, okay. And so now they don't get super offended.
Yeah.
So like at bedtime, I'm like, okay, do you want a kiss or a hug? She was like, I'll do a hug tonight. Sometimes I want both. Cool. And so teaching them how to respect our boundaries is important, because we're teaching them that they have boundaries. Like, I don't force affection for my children on anybody.
Right.
And so if they don't want to give a hug, if they don't want to speak,
they know they don't have to.
They don't have to. Because they need to know that they have autonomy, just like they need to know that I have autonomy.
Right.
I let my children see me, and I think that's important. I let them see me fail. I let them see me succeed. I let them see me broken. I let them see me happy. I let them see me sad. I let them see me angry. I try to do that so much, but they need to know. But
it's a real emotion.
Yeah.
And they need to know it happens.
And how they have full range of that, and they are able to express that themselves as well. Right. My oldest, we have a conversation journal, because she doesn't like verbal confrontation.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, so if she's pissed at me, or she's having a hard moment, she writes it down, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll write back. And it gives me a chance to process what it is that she's saying, respect her feelings, and I don't have to come up with a response in that moment while we're both heated.
Yeah.
Because okay, I'm going to tell you what had happened.
What happened?
So I had just saw this thing on the news about some girl being lured into roadblocks, like in messaging, and like sending inappropriate pictures of herself,
right,
to probably a grown man, right? And so then we were watching all of this. My husband and I were watching that segment about how kids, especially preteens, early teens, can get easily trafficked and all this other stuff just by chatting with people in these video games. I go into her room. It's in the summertime. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And I walk in her room, and she's on her phone. She's under the cover, but she doesn't have a shirt on, which is not uncommon. We are a naked household. Clothes is offensive around here. We don't like it. And so she didn't have a shirt on. And I was saying something to her, and just as I was about to walk in, I was like, Are you taking pictures? Are you sending? She's looking at me like hella confused, like what are you saying? Yeah. And I was like, are you? She was like, no. And I was like, okay, but I had asked her about 4 times, right? Yeah. I was like, okay, whatever. I take a shower, I come back, there's that conversation journal. Yeah. And homegirl is laying into me.
She's going off.
Oh, she's going off. Oh. And she was like, I can't believe you would think I would do something like that. I am so disappointed. Oh, and she was like, you're always talking about how you and I are so much alike, and you don't have shirts on. You sending pictures to people.
Ooh.
Not you letting me up. You getting me up like this. And I go to her. I don't write back this time. I go to her. Mm-hmm. I said, I apologize. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Because I should know who I raised. Right. I should know that that's not something that you would do. Mm-hmm. I said, but I also want you to know that that Daddy and I are privy to information that you are not. Yeah. And so our goal as your parents to make sure that you are protected and taken care of, and that nobody is taking advantage. And I said, yes, I could have gone about that differently. we could have just had a conversation. I could have just reiterated my feelings about it and making sure you understand the importance about what it is that I'm talking, and I shouldn't have accused you. So I apologize.
Yes, I love that.
But I'm still your mom.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm never going to negate my responsibilities as your mother to be your friend. So, yeah, I may pop off and it may be unnecessary, but I come back.
Yeah.
You know, I realize the error of my ways and I come back. And now we're cool. Like, we talk about everything.
I love that. Yeah.
And puberty for us was...
Yeah. Because I was just about to say, as a teen or becoming a teen or getting closer to that, growing up, it's hard to talk to your parents. Like, it's extremely hard. And because of the fact that, like, how you guys have that journal and she can express herself and then you can respond at an appropriate time versus don't talk when I'm talking. I said what I said. I don't have to explain anything to you. That makes a child shut down. Like, I don't want to talk to you about anything. So you don't care about what I have to say. And then that makes them disrespectful because I don't care about what you have to say or how you feel. So I'm about to do me. And the knowledge you're trying to give me, I'm not going to receive it.
At all.
Because you had an opportunity to communicate with me and you chose not to. So I love that for y'all.
And so we're always super cognizant about like when they're telling us things. So, you know, she's having a little situation like with her friends or a boy she likes, and both me and my husband be like, oh, it's happening. I'm not ready. but we have a very open, communicative household. Everybody talks. And just recently, my son is at a stage. He's our resident genius. Like, and we don't say this boastfully, but he's smarter than everybody in the house, right? And so, and he's kind of at that stage where he kind of is annoyed with you when you don't know things, because he just be like,
"You should know that,
right?" And I'd be like, "Why do you know it?" First of all, not why do I? That's not important. Why I don't know it. The point is, why do you know it?
You to this information.
Oh my gosh! And so, we tend to get frustrated with him because he's so brilliant. But homeboy can't get himself out of a wet paper bag to save his life. Can't do it. Can't do it. He is just. Why am I so weak? Boy, just try. And so there are moments we forget that he's 7.
Yeah.
Because he can tell you the exosphere of Mercury or what exoplanet just was developed. But then like simple tasks he struggles to do. And one day my husband's going off and I was like, "Hey, I think you need to step out." And so I said, "Listen, we need to come up with a phrase, like a tap out phrase. If we feel ourselves getting," because he finds himself getting really heated with CK, and I find myself getting really heated with Kennedy. It's like, because they're our twin flames, and so they're the ones that we're always get with the most, or we have the most struggle with. And I said, we need to come up with something. So if you hear me yell it, or if I hear you yell it, just step away, because I feel like it's getting too much. So we got beans and bananas. Because we had to come up with something that you wouldn't just normally use. Yeah. So he was CK was getting in trouble about something, and I was like, okay, he's really upset, and I just yelled out, "Beans and bananas, babe! Beans and bananas!"
I love that.
And at first it annoyed him so bad, because he was just like, "No, I got to go off." But just recently, he was talking to a friend, and he was like, "Yeah, my wife came with this stupid thing called beans and bananas, but it do be." I realized that I may be taking it there, and she reels it back in a way that doesn't show discord between mom and dad, because that's how kids play off of you when they know that the parents don't agree, and I can play dad against mom and mom. No, we're always a united front. Whether I agree with what you're doing in that moment or you agree with what I'm doing in that moment, in front of them children, we're a united front. We get in that room, and
Yeah,
that was uncalled for.
That's in the Bible, actually. I just learned about that in church, that in front of everyone, you're this. Now, when we get behind, we close this door tonight, I'm going to tell you about yourself. But right now, I got your back.
I got your back.
It's us. Because even not even children, family members, or anybody, friends, if they see you and your spouse, at it, they see it as an opportunity. Well, she didn't have to say that to you like that, and now you finna go home and be extra mad. Like, and when it was just, but you could have, it's between y'all.
Baby, it didn't used to be my proudest attribute, but it works. I used to call myself the queen of happy faces, because I used to mask a lot, right? But I still hold that when it comes to my marriage. I could just cuss you out in this car.
Mm-hmm.
We get out here, baby, that is my husband.
Yes,
My man, my man, my man.
absolutely.
He's
Yes.
amazing. I love him. I get back in that car and I am rolling my eyes hard because
Right.
you still get on my nerves.
Still, it hasn't changed. How did y'all get to the point where it was so easy? Have y'all always been like great communicators, you and your husband?
No,
Because I
absolutely
know.
not.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I feel like when we first, I got married high on hormones, okay? I was 9 months pregnant. We got married, and then 3 days later, we had a kid.
Yeah.
So I was not prepared, you know, and I tell everybody, I said, I loved him, and I think we loved each other with as much information that we had to that point, right? Everything else had to continue to build. And initially, when we first got married, I was like, we didn't have a ton of positive examples of marriage, even though 90% of our family members, our friends were married, but their marriages wasn't something that I aspired to. So I'm like, well, if I don't know what to do, how can I know I'm doing it right?
Right.
But I realized that the blessing was that we get to create it from scratch. Without having, because we don't know their backstories, we don't know what happens at home. Even when you see the loveliest of couples, everybody got a little bit of something, and so we just learned to build ourselves, our marriage, our family, step by step by step. And so there are things that happen in the Batteast household that just wouldn't fly.
Yeah.
And so I don't get kids ready in the morning.
I love that for you.
Oh, I love it for me too.
I love that.
My sister was like, well, there's this South of Life era, but you live there. Like, you've been there.
This is not an Instagram meme. Like, I do not dress kids. And
I was just on the phone with somebody. I was like, hey, I didn't even see my baby this morning. They was like, they're home? I was like, yeah. I was like, who took the kids to school? It's like, that man does. He was like, well, who gets them ready? That man does.
Because they can do it.
Because if I don't have to get up in the morning, nobody's waking me up just to say, oh, go get the child dressed. He gets up. He was like, it's no point of both of us being awake. If he's not feeling well, if he's out of town or whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Of course. I will get up and get the children ready. But he about to be gone now, and I have to tell the people he done left me for dead. Because now I have to pick up kids, drop off kids, get bathed all by myself.
It's a lot. It's a lot, especially for most. I have one. So that morning, I call him a crocodile in the morning because he do that little growl or whatever. It's like, bro, go brush your teeth. You do this every day. But I'm glad you said that because I remember when you were speaking at the Women Empowerment event and you were saying that you leave home and your husband stays with your kids and you take those breaks. And I was like, okay, I'm not married yet, but I might have chose well. Because my boyfriend is always like, do you need to go?
Yeah.
Like, you need a break or something?
Leave.
So when I heard you say that, I tell him no. But when I heard you say that, I started saying yes.
Good.
Because I'm like, okay, this is actually, I didn't see that. But I'm glad to know that it's happening out here.
And we should definitely normalize men who just, it's not, we're very fluid in those gender roles. There's not like, one thing I have to do and something that he has to do. We just kind of ebb and flow wherever is necessary. And so he picks up when I can, or I just don't want to. Because if we're being honest, some of this is not like an inability. It's something I'm tired and I don't feel like it.
Go do it.
And so during the pandemic is also when we started those breaks. So it started with just 30 minutes of alone time. Then it got upgraded to an hour of alone time, right? And then we implemented off days because I couldn't leave because everybody was on quarantine. And so an off day, I was just invisible in the house that day. I didn't cook, I didn't clean, I didn't touch. You don't even see me. Don't see me. If you see me, you don't see me. Go talk to him.
I'm not here.
And so off days were really important because that was the day I didn't have to think about anybody.
Right.
I didn't have to do anything, or I could do the things that I wanted to do, or I could work that day, or just spend it in bed. And then we moved up to our mommy reset weekend or day or two where I would stay at a hotel, by myself for a day or two. And he was like, what are you doing? I'm resting.
Right.
You know, I ran into these at the hotel, that my staycation hotel is on a golf course. And so I'm sitting down at the bar eating lunch, and these group of golfers, they're sitting there. And so we're just talking. And they was like, "Oh, are you here for business?" Or I was like, "Oh, no, I live here." And it was like, "What? Why'd you stay?" I was like, "Oh, because I needed a break. I was tired." And he was like, "Are you married? Do you have children?" I said, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, who has the kids?" Their father.
Right.
He was like, "So you make your husband watch the kids so you could do what?" I said, "Are you married?" He was like, "Yeah." "So you have children?" He's like, "Yeah." "Did you think about your wife and your children before you start gallivanting across the country to play recreational golf?"
Questions that he answers. Because I didn't make him do anything.
Okay. And so he was just like, "Oh, I mean, she knows what it is." I was like, "So then, if she knows what it is, why don't you provide that for her too? Sometimes she may not ask you for it, but it'd be nice to know she's thought of in that way. Like, hey, babe, I see you've been working so hard. You need a little break. Here, I got you a room."
Right.
Like, let's normalize not constantly overburdening ourselves within our roles and responsibilities as a wife and a mother. There's this woman named Goody Howard. She's amazing. She's a she's a sexologist.
Okay.
Just stay with me.
I'm tracking.
And I went to a conference last year, a maternal health conference, and she was one of the speakers. I'm like, what is she going to talk about that's going to relate to maternal health? Let me go. I'm intrigued. And her session was called Connecting Confidence to Pleasure. And something she said in her segment was that she does not use the title wife or mother. She is a partner and a parent.
Okay.
So that way, both of those titles equally go to the man and the woman. She said, because there are certain things that I do or I don't do that wouldn't be considered like normal. She was like, I don't do laundry. I tried one time and I messed my husband's clothes up. He said, hey, don't touch my stuff. I respect it.
Respectable.
Absolutely. So I have a laundry service. I don't do laundry. Like, I do like our towels and stuff like that, but laundry, send it out. Back folded and hung up the next day, no problems, right? Have somebody come clean the house twice a month. But those things I used to feel very guilty about because I'm like, oh, I'm home. I'm supposed to do these things. But who told me that?
Right. We're going to talk about that next.
Who said that?
Because I want to know why.
Yes.
Okay. Like, why do we feel like we can't go anywhere? We can't do anything. We are strapped down to this one title, this one role. We have to do laundry. We have to do this. We have to lay on our back. We got to do everything. The man just...
They get to just do whatever.
Yeah, we're going to get into that next.
Yes.
Quick break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back. The importance of why we feel like we can't do well. Let's not say we, because not us, but we have been there to what we felt like as mothers. We have to do this, everything that
it's societal.
Yeah,
it's those societal pressures. It's a lot of carryover from the generations before us because I remember being like really irritated with my mom every time I would like take time for myself or do something for myself. And she was like, well, what's your husband going to say? Well, who's going to wash the babies?
Yeah.
You left your husband with the children. And I would just be like, what? I don't get it. But I realized that this lifestyle has not been modeled for her.
Yeah.
You know, that's not something that she experienced because her generations before, they had two goals, to be a wife and a mother, you know, and so all of that, what their dreams, their hopes, their goals and aspirations were put on the back burner to be those things for their family.
Right.
But we can do them all. I can have a successful career. I can have a successful marriage. I can be a successful mother simultaneously, you know, while still prioritizing me. Because what we know is that, you know, like the phrase says, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
What did I say? That because the cup, what's in the cup is for you. And we are responsible for filling that cup.
Right.
We are responsible for nourishing ourselves.
Right.
We are responsible for making sure that we have the things that we need. And so naturally, if I am the one doing the pouring, then people in my life, at my job, in my family, in my home, they get the natural overflow of what I'm doing for myself. So I don't have to make it their responsibility. I don't look to my husband to make me happy. I don't look for him to make me feel fulfilled. I don't look to my children or try to live my dreams through them. You know, I give them the freedom to be young, wild, and free Black kids, which we don't get to see that often.
No,
you know?
do not.
And so I said my only goal as a parent is to show them possibility.
Yes.
So they have seen me as an employee. They have seen me as a business owner. They have seen just the entire scale of who I am, and then they can decide because they know that they have choices. They have options. And that's all I want. I just want to be a visible definition of what possibility looks like for them.
The whole time you were, speaking about how you guys operate in your household and the things you do that are not of the norm, like the journey with your kids and, teaching them to respect boundaries and things like that. It's going to be so essential for them when they grow up because teaching kids boundaries, that's why you meet some men and they are overly effective or aggressive. They don't understand. They feel rejected and stuff like that. It's because they didn't have that moment.
Yeah.
And then seeing women come up and feel like, oh, I'm supposed to do this for my man. He's supposed to be like this and this. I have to take this and take that. And it's like, you absolutely do not.
No.
That's just what you saw. So it's just like, I feel like as women now, we're birthing we're raising a whole different type of
Yes. And I feel like it's important to do that.
Yeah.
I make my son clean. He knows the importance. There are moments that he wants to be in the kitchen with me, watching what I'm doing. Yes, learn, because your daddy can't cook. So you gonna know. You gonna know how. My husband's only allowed to cook for himself.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Don't make anything for anybody else. But it is important that he and for me, I wanted my children to know what positive affection and love looks like, how to properly receive it, how to properly give it. And so we don't shy away from, affection in front of them, right? It's nothing, gross or anything, but they need to know that their mother was loved. They need to see their mother being taken care of. They need to also see that in reverse, their mother taking care of her father, right? And that it was just like, oh, my mom did all of these things and my dad was just there. No, my husband is an active father. My son is at the age now because of his brilliance. School's a little difficult because you can't get a kid like him to do what you want to do. And so my husband, he was like, no. I'm going to the school. Yeah. So like the teacher's texting him, like if something happened, if, on Thursdays it's Kona Ice Day. And if he got in trouble that week, my husband comes and sits with him in the library and he doesn't get Kona Ice that day. And so he was like, no, because I need these teachers to know that he is a visible father.
That is so important. My son is 4, Head Start. Extremely smart. He's been reading since he was like 2.
Yeah,
so
that was all
he's running circles around his 3-year-old classroom, okay? And we had a parent-teacher meeting. I'm extremely concerned. My first parent-teacher meeting. What happened? Is he falling behind? I'm like, what's up? And she's like, oh, he can run circles. We can't teach him anything new. But, he likes to cry a lot. And he likes to do this and he likes to do that. And he doesn't like to listen. And I said, oh, he doesn't do that at home.
Give him more. He's bored.
And she told me, I understand how it is as a single parent. Let's take a step back.
Because why do you assume that I'm single?
What would make you think I'm a single parent? What makes you think that I don't have family and community and people that care about him? Because it's not the case. I know that's the typical situation for the Black woman. Yeah. No. I said, he's very loved. He's well taken care of. He has his own room. She was like, yes, he has a room. Like he goes and he takes a bath and he gets in his bed. He doesn't sleep with me. And it was kind of insulting in a way, but I understood her concern because the school that he goes to, it is like a area of poverty or whatever. So I get why she may have thought that, but it's just like that was unfair to assume without me telling you why.
Yes.
And he doesn't even act like that at home. He does that here because he can get away with it.
And he's bored.
Yes.
If you know that kid knows all of his alphabets and shapes and whatever and is reading, you give him more to do. You encourage the growth of intellect.
They gave it to me. They were like, oh, here's extra work for him because we can't teach him anything new, so you should do it at home.
So they don't want to put him in a higher class?
Oh, I registered him for a magnet school for
Okay,
prefect. Yeah,
there we go.
we gonna head on.
There we go.
We
There we
gonna
go.
head on now. His assessment is next week. We gonna head on now.
Yeah.
So, but it was just kind of crazy, like that she just assumed that I was having a hard time with him because I'm a single parent. And I was like, ma'am, he gets disciplined. Like this is not he's not running wild. And she was like, I know you have to work. I said, I take less work for my child. I don't know what anybody else does,
Yeah.
but I would decline. I would call in. I'm not coming. My son needs me. Like we
Yeah.
do homework. We have one-on-one time. How do you think he can read? You think he just came out reading?
Listen,
Yeah.
something I've learned early on having very smart children.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Kennedy, also, she was reading, I think about maybe right at 3. My son was reading at 2, 2.5. But with Kennedy, when we moved to Mississippi, and you have to like test into to the magnet or IB. And so she tested into IB Elementary School. At the time, it was the #1 school in the state. And we were living in a different district, but they have these district to district transfers. And I remember the superintendent calling me from the district that she lived in that she never went to school in. And he was like, oh, no, she can't go. I'm sorry, what? And so I go to the school board, and he had never even turned in the paper. But my daughter has a disability, right? And so we all know that you get a little extra funding for the kids with a disability. So she has been wearing 2 hearing aids since she was 3 months old. And so he saw that because she was going to the school for the deaf when we first moved to Mississippi, because I didn't know, try to find her another audiologist. Right. So I just sent her because she was pre-K still, because her birthday was late. So she was just there. Nobody cared about that she was going over there. So when I get to the school board and I'm telling them, and it was like, I said, because I don't remember having this issue when it was time for her to go to MSD. Right. And so one lady said, well, is she deaf? I said, is that important? Right. I said, because what you're telling me is that my kid can be special, but she can't be smart. And so they still tried to deny us, but then I worked with the school that I wanted her to go to and the superintendent for MSD, and she was the only little child being picked up, at the end of the day, and just spending 30 minutes to an hour at the other school. But yeah, you're not going to hold my child's education hostage for a couple of dollars. So I am always a super strong advocate. Both of us are. And my husband does work in the community with Black boys, and so he's always super cognizant about how our children, especially his son, is portrayed when it comes to like behavior or anything. But we realize that his behavior issues, that you all are making behavior issues, is an intellectual issue just because he's tired. He's bored. He is over it. He's annoyed.
It's very boring here. And it's from you describing him. I know he in the classroom like, what are you doing?
Gets up and leave.
Right.
Like they going over a concept and he learned that thing 3 years ago. He's not doing anything nefarious. He's learning. But he's learning something else. He's like, okay, I know this already.
And you can't I really I have a friend, we were just talking, her son has recently been diagnosed with ADHD, and her son's school treats him like he's like just this manic kid. And it's just like he's probably bored. Yeah. Like, you have to grasp their attention, and like teachers aren't as creative as they used to be. Like some teachers have you kids doing something back to back to back to back, something new, exciting. Okay, you smarter than everybody else. I'm gonna give you this. And now it's just like, I'm gonna put you in this box. And if you don't fit in this box, it's something wrong with you. And it's just like, that's not a thing. It's not a thing.
So as we're thinking about like how we rest, how we prioritize ourselves, how we do all the things, I came up with this concept because I looked around one day at all the things that I used to relax, and everything had been purchased from another Black mom business. And so I called them up. I'm like, hey, I got this idea for this box. Would y'all want to wholesale me your stuff? And so then the Mommy Reset box was born. And now they are running like hotcakes. We ship them out nationwide. Majority of them go to wholesale to like other nonprofits or mom-centered organizations who are ordering 150 between 300 boxes at a time.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, my house looks like an Amazon fulfillment center.
A blessing. It's a blessing.
So I brought you one.
Yay!
So you can get a gander.
This is my first gift from a gift.
Oh. I like it.
Got you breaking like this. Oh, this bag is so cute. You love a good quality bag. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is so cute. Pickles and Popsicles. Aw. Okay, let's read the card, guys. Hey, Mama, we see you and you're doing an amazing job. Remember, We all deserve a reset. Take care. This is so cute. You okay? Absolutely correct. Let's see.
That's just a magnet.
Okay, we love magnets. Okay, what is this for?
That's for your tea. You put your loose leaf tea in there. It's your tea strainer.
Oh,
and
wait,
it'll steep your tea.
Okay, this is for this.
Yes.
Okay. Let me see. Okay.
Body butter.
Whipped body butter by Tailor Made Beauty Company. We love Tailor Made. Let's see. This is so cute. I'm like gonna use this. Look at this little spoon. Oh my gosh.
Bath salts.
Oh, this is so cute. It's okay to be salty. That's cute. Okay, this is just a mini bath salt. I love this. This packaging is literally everything. It really, really is. It really, really is.
And those are your self-care prompt cards.
No way.
You just slide it off because I think it's enough.
And you just shuffle through and just every day just pick one? Oh, girl.
Keep going.
I love it. Let's see what I pick right now. Take a long aromatherapy bath and shower. I absolutely will. I'm going to act on that. Is this for the tea?
Yeah, that's your mug.
And this is a
bracelet.
Oh,
you can match like me.
I love this.
It has breathe on it, just your little reminder.
I love it.
And under the bottom, it's a journal and everything, and then you got a pen in there.
I love this. What is this?
Oh, it's a candle.
Oh, you know I love candles. Oh, it smells.
And everything is purchased from another Black mom business. Yes.
Yes, we love it. Not only are you creating a safe space for mothers, you're also supporting Black women.
It's important to me. So on the cover of this box right here, now even though the box is for anybody, but I needed it to be known why it was created. So on the front it says created and designed by, but I needed it to be known why it was created. So on the front it says created and designed by Black mamas for Black mamas.
I love that.
You know, but you can get your box now. Anybody can get a box.
Anybody can get.
No.
Oh,
and everything is purchased from another Black mom business. Yes.
Yes, we love it. Not only are you creating a safe space for mothers, you're also supporting Black women at the same time.
It's important to me.
I love that.
So on the cover of this box right here, now even though the box is for anybody, but I needed it to be known why it was created. So on the front it says created and designed by Black mamas for Black mamas. But you can get your box now.
Anybody can get one, but shout out to you and your team. This is amazing.
What team? It's just me.
It's just you. You and God. That's the team. That's the backup.
I did just hire a part-time assistant.
Amen.
So yes, I got a team of half. One and a half.
One and a half. That's all right.
We working with something.
That's all right. I thank you so much. Before we leave, can everyone find you if they want to box?
So the boxes will be available for purchase again on April 1st. But we are on Instagram and Facebook, Pickles and Popsicles.com. It's Pickles, the letter N, Popsicles.com. And Instagram, Pickles_and_Popsicles. And Facebook, just Pickles and Popsicles.
Pickles and Popsicles. It's easy to remember.
Pickles and Popsicles.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you back. We're going to be in a group next time, y'all. Because we got some stuff to talk about.
Yes.
This is great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes. All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Hey.
Yay. That's great. Did we run out of minutes? Okay, good. We good.
Okay.
Girl, I am so excited. You want to know something so crazy? I'm in the process of starting a coffee and tea line.
Oh, I love this.
And my mom had a dream about the logo. And it was like some prayer hands holding a cup. And my original logo was like this. I changed it though, but it's just the prayer hands with the cup in the middle. But that is so crazy.
Okay. If you want to be a part of this box, you know what you need to create. Because I used to buy coffee from this Black-owned coffee company called Boss Coffee, Boss Blends. I think something happened because I don't think they are, but they used to have these individual pour over cups.